guys, welcome back to my channel. Extra light sauce is because it's quite late at night right now. I was waiting for a few packages to arrive and they took their time arriving, plus I slept most of the day. I was also waiting for my battery charge, so it is now probably like 7 PM at the moment while I'm filming. So I also did see my minimalist makeup collection that I wanted to get myself a longer blonde wig with the bangs especially, and I have it. Not sponsored by any means of course, but this is from Light in the Box and I love it. It's like the lighter blonde version of my light brown wig, which I wore in my little mix that was on video. Anyway, so for this video I am going to be doing a double first impressions on the Anastasia Beverley Hills Pro lip palettes and the Adrogyny palette, which just came in today. It's about 3 days now. I have not touched it at all. And my sister opened it just to take its quiz, but this just came in today. So obviously by the time you're watching this, it will be a Wednesday because I do post 3 times a week. It's the Adrogyny palette, obviously, and this is what I'll be starting off with. 10 jaw-dropping shades, vegan, cruelty-free, long-lasting, buttery and delicious. Here is our version of a neutral palette. So obviously Jeffree is like the complete opposite of neutral and normal a lot of the time. But and obviously some palettes need to consist of some neutral tones because not everyone's out for looking like a Barbie or extravagant. So make palettes obviously take that into consideration. Same with the pastel gloss palette, although that contains a lot of out there colours, at the same time the colours are still very wearable in their own way. Anyway, so opening this up, oh yeah, I got a little henna tattoo. I did it myself. And my tattoo, I obviously just mean like whatever the ingredients is, it just leaves a stain behind. More like a cardboard texture. My other one's a lot more of a plasticky texture. Yeah, so this is my Beauty Color palettes. This one feels a lot more smoother. This one feels a lot more like cardboard. A bit like, kind of like snake skin. And I have felt a snake, so I know what I'm talking about. A little bit of snake skin. Obviously Jeffree, I'm sure, is very cruelty free, etc. Towards very plasticky feeling animals. So, I really like the design of the back here. Pretty. There's frosting, safe word, charm, deja vu, dominatrix, androgyny, fetish, military, poison and swallow. Shocked that he put some, you know, sort of sexual related words. The only 2 sexual related words is of course fetish and swallow, but everything else is actually quite names that you wouldn't ordinarily pick for eyeshadows, which that's obviously what I like about Jeffree Star. He is very unique and individual. Things first, because I've obviously already got my base done, like obviously. To prime my eyes, I'm going to be once using my Too Faced Shadow Insurance primer from Nikki Tutorials, or the collection from Nikki Tutorials. Thought the lid was off. It was not. There we go. And it does feel quite oily based. So, but with any primer you still have to set it. Okay, my ear is ringing. I'm not going to answer it. I'm actually really loving this light because I've noticed that a bit of a shadow cast me from my mirror. I don't know. I've noticed lately that my videos have been looking a little bit dull in lighting. Like even though I use my iPod light source sometimes and you know, my limmer, my lamp built into a mirror, but it still seems so dull. Obviously this my sister's ring light because I need to organise myself a stand for mine. I know I've had this my ring light since Christmas and I still haven't organised myself a stand. Another eyelids are primed. I can go into with it in action. Closest to a transition tone will definitely have to be a safe word, which is this one here. I'm going to use Artist Manicure brush, which I've had for eons, and taking obviously a safe word. Very undoubted this is very pigmented. The palette, I have no idea what's wrong with this. Makeup starting to give me a headache, and I've barely been wearing it. Typical. Okay, so that is the transition done. Looks like I should make it slightly deeper, but at the same time it doesn't need to because it's just a transition tone. Something floating around my tea and I have no idea what it is. I know it's not a bug or anything like that, but still. So where to go with this palette? Take some of Kylie Cosmetics brush, eyeshadow pack. Well, it looks a lot like the real eyeshadow brush. Dominatrix. I definitely need to get better cut creases, so I think this one like that. But obviously just focus this in the upper crease for now. It's like, notice this is no shimmer tones, like that's like Princess. So if you wanted a brow bone highlight, you'll have to go with a different palette. I think I'm probably the last person to plan to get my hands on the Jeffree Star palette, so I'm sure everyone's figured that out by now. But this side, definitely very easy to blend out. Though again, I'm probably setting nervous again, and the last one to figure that out. Then again, I'm not the only one who doesn't have this palette. Technically, my sister doesn't either. But until I can buy her one, I'm just gonna borrow mine. And so now to cut this crease. I think I'm like just doing like a half cut crease because that seems to be in lately, and I want to also get better at that. Because you know, all over cut creases are very easy to do. So until then, I am going to take some of Deja Vu. In this patch, I'm just packing on Deja Vu to my outer V and halfway into my eyelid. Okay, now to officially cut the crease, so I'm going to use my concealer. It's technically my CoverGirl one that is specifically meant for vanishing and blemishes. So I'm going to be using my eyeshadow packing brush. Use my finger to pat these edge in. That in place, but I'm going to have to use a different palette. Use Ivy from Nick Tutorials. And that's it. I'm going to choose, I don't know which ones are fashion colours. I'm thinking going in with Poison. And that or Swallow. Okay, that's the first blue down. I'm actually going to take the rest of the other blue shades and sort of stretch it out with an ombre. So next one I'm obviously going to take is Poison. Now I'm going to take obviously Military, so the rest of the my lid. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to take a little bit of frosting onto the inner corner. Okay, sweet. Now I am going to take some of Finish and Adrogyny on my bottom lower lash line. I'm going to take Finish first. And then Adrogyny on the inner part. Okay, so I'm just going to take a little bit of and here. So now I'm just going to take my big Extra Beauty fluffy brush, blend up here. Okay, so I'm just going to use all the colours in the palette. Sweet. I'm just going to take a little bit of Nick Tutorials Champagne Truffle ones, but there's a brow bone highlight. Because I can't be bothered to get my Too Faced shop bar out. So now with my new Velvet Essence liner, I'm going to of course line my eyes. Alright, I like that. I'm gonna be right back into the moment because no use me doing this on both parts on camera, so I'll be right back. Okay, eyeliner is now completed, so now I'm just gonna go in with my Wanted palette, my Nick Tutorials palette, take Wanted, the eyeshadow. I'm not gonna worry about lining my lower lash line just for a bit of a change. So now I'm going to put some lashes on, and the eyelash glue is in my sister's room. Be right back. Okay, so now that my lashes are finally on, I'm now going to go through my mascara. It's officially makes my eye makeup. Okay, so here's a close-up of the eye makeup, the 3-tone cut crease. So now to get on with lip swatches, if you hear a whimpering voice in the background, it's just my sister. She's torturing herself over eBay. So this Pro Lip palette is basically obviously kind of like XO's the palette, except on its own. So opening up for the first time, even though I did say that my sister has already opened this, still come with, I think it was a mixing plate. Just to mix the colours if you want to. So it's a very stiff cardboard piece that you can mix colours. There is a white in here that you can use to lighten the colours or blend and lighten those colours even more. There's also yellow in here. Fair enough. As it comes with the same brush, I mean most Anastasia products do. I failed. So this part's obviously for the application of it, and this is from if you want to mix the colours. So I'm really just going to focus on swatching these colours. I'm not going to worry too much about mixing them. So Starting with this shade here, the nude pink shade. I also zoom you guys in a bit. Ooh, there's a nice nude shade. Okay, so this shade is definitely very nice and creamy. It's a lot more like a lip gloss type of cream shade, like MAC cream shades and or the one from Shade XO's palettes. But I realised it definitely goes with the makeup like instantly, especially with the amount of nude neutral tones that I have. So yeah, this unfortunately doesn't come with names as such, only numbers. So shade 1, I figure. Okay, the next shade along is a lot more of a mauvey red tone brownie colour one. So it's a slightly darker version of the first one. A shade that I don't actually have. Thank you for this palette for giving me this shade. It goes over really well with the makeup too. I mean, not exactly the worst specification, but whatever. Once again, the sister's in the room.
Once again, the sister Mickey, come here.
I really like this shade. It definitely goes with the makeup. Like, it's like I've got half my eyes on my lips. With shade number 2. And with is this orangey tone shade. Really pigmented. Okay, so this is shade number 3. Really orangey tone. It also goes really well with this makeup. I really like it. Reminds me of Kate Moss's lipstick. I don't remember the shade name though. Or the number for that matter. But it definitely reminds me a lot of that. Because this shade, which is also the third one on my hand at the bottom. Okay, so the next shade along is back to like a lighter version of the previous shade. Okay, so this is that light brown shade, really nice as well, and once again it goes with this makeup, so it is the very bottom shade, that's on my wrist. Okay, so next shade is going to be like this little plum, purpley pink shade here as well. One at the very bottom. Very still on the brown side as well, but really pretty. It also goes with the makeup. A lot of these colours are sort of reminding me of the MAC, not MAC, the House of Lashes technically I think it is. But a lip gloss shade called Raven from House of something, I can't remember what the website is, but they basically sent me all those random very thick lip glosses. And all these colours are sort of very earthy tones, so they remind me a lot of that. So yeah, I really love the shade. So is this one here. The next shade I'm allowing is down to this really brown one right here. A nice pigmented one. This is definitely a shade that it's likely makeup will probably wear. And I dig it too. Okay, my mouth looks very irritated right now. Do it yourself lip injections. Okay, so now let's go on to this really bright orange shade. Finally. Oh hell yeah. That sounds so cheesy. Okay, so this definitely reminds me of very much of a Kate Moss lipstick, and a really ripe flamingo orange. So I really like the shade too. Okay, so we're back to browns again. So like this really light brown here. Okay, so it didn't do too good of a job getting the older colour off. Yeah, this is also a really nice neutral nude as well. I realised this one definitely goes well with the makeup as well, but like I said, I didn't really get rid of the last colour too well, so this is sort of opened up in the other colour. Yeah, this is also a really nice, very cool toned brown nude. Especially if you are into those tones. I obviously don't know my tunes, but like I know my science, and I don't know science either, so. But yeah, this is a really nice, subtle brown shade to have. It's perfect if makeup looks like this, minus all the purple colour. Okay, the next shade I'm pretty excited for is this really hot electric purple here. Okay, kind of feel like I have live brights on my lips right now with that pinkish purple shade, you know, magnetic purple. I kind of feel like I had that on my lips, but I really like this shade. It's definitely a very outlet shade, and I'm quite an outlet person. But somehow it also works with this makeup look somehow. Oh, this is cute. Okay, so up next is this much more darker berry tone. Okay, I love this berry tone. It's a lot more of a neutral, more wearable version of the previous purple. I love this colour so much. It's like a raspberry tone and it's just beautiful. Shade along is back to a mauvey nude tone, which is this one here. And this is technically meant to be a very plush nude, but because the failness of getting the previous colour off completely, yeah, this is actually a really nice pale nude. It does remind me a lot of either Candy K or Coco K Colour Cosmetics. So I really like this shade as well. If it was a much better application. My mouth is looking very dirty right now with so many different products surrounding it. So it almost looks like a foundation toner too, actually. Okay, so I have to change over to my lip brush because I don't want to get a bit too packed. So now onto this berry pink tone here. And that's also a very nice colour as well. Okay, move over Barbie. Next one is technically a white, but yeah, I'm definitely going to put white on my lips because that's just ridiculous. Next shade up though, however, is a black shade. This one's going to be interesting to get off once it's on. Okay, so this one's definitely perfect from if you are goth or have a gothic related personality. I really like the shade. It is a little bit patchy, but it's only because my lips are quite dry. If my lips were smooth as a baby's ass, then this shade would go on just beautifully. Like Dead of Night or Weirdo or anything like that. So I need to stretch. I really like this black shade. It's definitely very pigmented. It does stretch a very long way. It does look a little bit patchy because my lips are dry. But besides that, it's going to be going in with this pretty typical red shade here. Very red tone. Okay, so this is definitely your pretty typical lady in red. It's a lot more muted because of the application of it. It's still really nice, and I have to wrap this up really quickly because my battery is dying. Not that it will be the biggest thing if I had to just pause for a moment, like my battery charge or whatever, but still. So yeah, this is like a pretty typical lady in red, which is this one here and on my lips, obviously. Okay, so I just ate a full bowl of spaghetti and the lip shade still seems to be there. Like, it was obviously faded a lot, like obviously, but for the most part it's still there, so that just obviously means that they're long lasting, which is good. I just would like to go out in clubbing and stuff like that, so now I'm just going to remove this shade, and the good news is we have 3 more shades to go. Second shade to go is this bright ass velvet one right here. But I might just actually use my finger. Okay, so it's definitely gonna have to be one of those shades that you mix a white with, or maybe put like a NYX jumbo stick down first and then go over with this yellow. Because this yellow is ridiculously patchy by itself, but it is still a really cool colour, of course. But or if you want a straight up opaque yellow, just go from one of Jeffree Star's bluer lipstick colours. Yeah, this is this yellow shade, which looks more like probably more small. Oh my goodness, this wig is giving me a headache and I'm like getting tongue tied. Shocking. This yellow is a lot more on the opaque side, and I do look like I have more like orange lips on camera, but what can you do? I've also been wiping all these shades off of my pants. They're just leggings, it's all good. So this bright electric blue here, which is also as opaque as the black one. This blue definitely reminds me a lot of the MAC one. Almost couldn't think what it was for a second, but yeah, this is a really good blue. It definitely also goes with the pop of colour on my eyes. I really like this blue. It's also something that I can see it's likely makeup wearing. Okay, and the last lip shade finally is this really deep berry tone. Okay, so still a lot lighter on natural skin, but like a plum tone. This one is a stunning colour, definitely right up my alley. And the last shade, so I finally got through all these shades, which are now also all on my hand. So I love this shade so much. I think a nice deep red purple berry tone. Beautiful. I love it. Like a lot more like cream sheens. Like House of something lip gloss, how thick they are. They remind me of those sort of neutral shades. I like this wig, man. Giving me a headache. They remind me a lot of cream sheens like Wich and XO's palettes and all the MAC ones. So I love this, and I'm also going to keep this on for the rest of the video now, so yeah. Also, first impression on these two palettes, a lip palette and of course the Adrogyny palette. I love both of them. Colours perform very well. The black in the Lip Pro palette was a little bit not transparent, patchy, but it's only because my lips are dry and they're actually as smooth as a baby's ass, then I wouldn't have a problem. So yeah, I love how the colours worked out in the palette. I forgot to highlight my face. Right, it doesn't matter. My wig's covering my My wig is covering my face anyway. But I love how all these colours performs. And I'm really scared to know how long this video is going to wind up being. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I really do hope you enjoyed it, and I shall see you all for my future videos. Bye guys!